Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Bandit Gang YouTube channel and to the next episode of the Iron Falcon Report podcast. It's been a while since we've uploaded one of these, but today we finally have time to sit down and talk about a new topic. Now, as you guys can see on your screen, we have two people that are relatively new and are making their debut in the Iron Falcon Report podcast. And one of them has already been here. And so we're gonna start with the guy on the top right of the screen. We have Moriarty UK. If you guys don't know who he is the one that does all the lore, the script writing and the voiceovers for the Lore Blast series, which I think is the most popular series on our Bandit Gang YouTube channel right now. So if you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi guys. Really happy to be here. I was going to say, you almost didn't give yourself any credit then, Enzo, saying that I do all the lore videos. I was thinking, yeah, I'll take credit for that. I do all the editing and the mixing and everything. That's all me. I've done everything. Just slap Enzo's name on it, and that's fine. Yeah, no, I'm really excited to be here. Really, really pleased. Thank you for having me on and fitting me in, because I think I am the guilty party with the dodgy schedule. So thank you for fitting me in as well.
Well, no, I'm only here to reap the benefits. That's really all. I do no work. So yes, he can have all the credit. And the next person, she is also making a debut here on the Iron Falcon Report podcast, and she is the first person I have brought onto the Lore Blast series to appear as a voice actress. We have Ghost Arya. If you don't know who she is, go ahead, introduce yourself, and make sure you plug your stuff in so people know where to find you in case they don't.
Hey, thanks. Also happy to be here. So I'm Arya. You can find me at Twitch, Ghost Arya. And I have no idea how I got into the Lore Blast, honestly. So we'll see why I'm here, really.
When Denpai asked for episode 1 to be remade, and then I noticed there were 2 female characters, and I've always had the thought in my mind, it's like, maybe we should grab other members of the team to do this. Maybe it's time to make them more useful on the YouTube side of things. Unfortunately, it was either you or Bronca, and I think Bronca was like I don't know, Bronca was streaming at the time, and
we talked about like immediately early days, like can we get other voices in, kind of mix it up a little bit. Like that was something we wanted to do straight away. And then when my Siri impression left a lot to be desired, I thought maybe we better get someone with a higher register voice.
I think when you do a Siri voice, it's almost as if she's actually Geralt's daughter, because it's like you have a bang on Geralt voice. When you try to do a Siri voice, it's like, wait, no, we don't want her.
The Siri's not good. Get the helium tank to the side of me, do my best, but it doesn't really work out.
The helium tank. Is that the secret to voice acting?
Oh yeah, just lots of gas tanks around the desk. That's the key.
I guess I know what I'm filling up my space in my room is. Just strap it on with helium tanks and.
But it was really great having Arya in to do that as well, and she did a very good job. So
yeah, it was a really good dynamic. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, I know I like to make fun of this guy, and I still will. But you know, maybe I'll actually be nice for this time. I actually consider him to be one of the most. I'd like to call him. He's a boss. And
wait.
Yes, Decode.
Decode, what are you doing here?
Oh.
Hello.
Hi. I just came.
Yeah, but it's not allowed.
Oh.
We're recording.
Oh,
We'll fix it in post. It's fine.
Unfortunately not, because now the scene's all messed up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
That's okay.
Bye.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, bye.
It's fine. Even better, it just gives the scene that more authenticity of the.
I
fact
like
that
how
we
the one
record.
time I try to be wholesome, it gets interrupted. I love it.
It's fine. Keep going. It's fine.
Finally,
It's fine.
I
It's
finally
fine.
got my time to shine.
Ah,
here.
too
Getting
bad.
some compliments for this man.
Suddenly I forgot what I was gonna say. Let's just get on to the topic. So as you guys can see with the panel here, we are obviously going to talk about why OnlyFans is so successful for. No, I'm kidding. We are going to talk about the most successful series on the Bandit Gang channel so far, and that is the Lore Blast series. And I'm gonna take it straight to the originator, the guy who started it all, because I think if I remember correctly, no, I don't. Wait, did I get the wrong guy?
No.
Are you sure I got the right guy? Maybe
Yeah,
he was
no,
the guy that just left. Yeah, so I'm gonna go straight to the originator, because like even though the Lore Blast series just started picking up like, you know, success like within the last like few months or so. This is actually an idea that was hovering around like almost a year ago actually. So this is not new at all. So if you just want to talk about sort of like pretty much like what made you come up with this series and like, you know, your ups and downs of it and why how it suddenly started picking up, like how did your editing skills get so good that it suddenly started picking up views and stuff? And
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, obviously, lore videos around the Witcher series and to an extent around Gwent aren't anything new. And there were a few kind of channels and people kind of doing that sort of stuff, like sort of going around the circuit already. But I always kind of thought that one thing I liked about Gwent a lot was that my experience with it going in, I was a big fan of the Witcher games. I hadn't really read the books so much yet, though. And I liked a lot of the characters that, like, maybe I'd seen like a name drop for in a game here, or like I'd seen referenced in a video there, but I hadn't like heard much about. And I thought I kind of started spending, you know, when you have a deep dive on like a game's wiki for a bit, and I was like looking at different characters and stuff. And so I had this idea in the back of my mind, it might be cool to like make a few videos about the lesser known characters, which is kind of where the Freischnett thing came from then. But I hadn't really thought anything of doing anything about it. And then BJ messaged me a while ago, sort of to see if there's anything I could do, because I've been back in work, I've been teaching, and with the nature of, you know, COVID, blah blah blah, I don't need to dwell on that too much, but with the nature of all of that, like the job has been my life, and I've really had no way to contribute to, you know, the efforts that the team puts out. And so BJ kind of just messaged me to ask if there was anything I could think to do, if there was any sort of ideas that I could work on. And I kind of said, well, I had this idea for like, I'd written a script more or less, but I didn't have any experience making any videos. And I sort of thought, I'll have a go, see how it comes out. Now the video came out like, I think the script was solid. I think the reading of it was solid, but the video itself was like obviously made in like an afternoon on like bad software. And it was just a thing that I put together. And it's fine, and I think it's still on the channel, so you can like scoff at the editing and that. But that was the one we recently remastered. But then obviously you got onto the project then, Enzo, and that was really, really helpful because it meant that I could write in sort of conversations in the script between, you know, dialogues and card text and stuff. And I knew that it would come together really well in the editing, in post, and I could be a little bit more creative with how I wanted to structure it, because I knew it would translate better on the screen. And I think, to be honest, the main reason it's been successful so far is I think a combination of the fact that the characters I choose tend to be lesser known, or at least aren't always explored. I think the fact they're punchy helps. I try and keep them brief. And then I think that kind of the dynamic editing style that you've brought to the project really helps, where you have sort of the visual conversations between the characters. And I think those three things specifically have kind of combined into some pretty interesting videos, and they've worked out pretty well. So I've been enjoying making them.
yeah, like they were a lot of fun. Like I remember when I came back and decided to like take sort of the content side more seriously, and I was like trying to look at like these videos, and I'm like, I'm looking at these two, and it's like, drifting, boring, and then I see yours, and then it's like, oh, there's more, there's the Lore Blast series, and I'm like, maybe I'll talk to Moriarty to see how, because like despite the fact, you know, that you might think that your editing was really bad, I mean, at the end of the day, it's really about the community reception, right? Like if the community likes the content, then, you know, we gotta keep it up, we gotta keep it going. But you know, like for someone like me, I always like to see like, you know, how can we make this better, right? So that's why like you were the first person I approached when it came to a project, and you know, it's turning out really successful so far. And until something else comes in and makes, and you know, grabs all the views from the Lore Blast series, and you know,
Sure.
maybe I'll hold you to a higher standard, and then maybe once all that's gone, you can. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'll stop coasting when it gets serious. That's when I'll stop coasting.
Either that or until the channel starts making revenue, who knows? But yeah, no, like when it comes to like lore, like your approach to it, like that punchy, snappy, like not as long, because I watch a lot of like the Lord of the Rings lore and stuff like that, and like while they're actually very interesting, a lot of them go quite long sometimes. Like they can go up in upwards to like 20 or 30 minutes. And you know, like despite how good it is, like you just can't, like if the attention span of a person is just really short, then despite it's how entertaining it is, they're just gonna stop watching.
I think from my point of view, particularly with some of the characters in the Witch universe, is that like we look at like Freischnett, for example, as the first video. His character features a bit, is somewhat important, then goes away again. And there are there's essays you could write about some of the relevance to the story that character brought to places, and to not forgetting like allegory and like reviews and stuff, just in terms of what the character did for the story. And you could really go off on conjecture on that. When I was looking it up, I found tons of stuff from like semi-canon resources and things, and all kinds of random things. And I just thought, well, this is interesting, and I'll make sure to tell people that they exist. But I think for most people, at least for me, I can only speak for myself. I think for most people, there's kind of a need to just be able to put something on in the background, be like, I want to know more about this card. Let's keep it to where the card is relevant. So obviously it's a Scoia'tael card, so I focus on the Scoia'tael part of his story. His voice lines and his art relates to his relationship with the Dryad, so I made that the focus. And then I just kept to, how it ties into the Witcher universe as a whole. So that's where the serious stuff came in. And that's where I left it. And I could have gone on for 15 more minutes about, other sources and things afterwards, but I just didn't think it was relevant. People were coming to a Gwent lore video to find out about the Gwent card. So I'll keep the lore to how it affects the card.
Yeah, otherwise we'll just call it lore essays and have it last 50 minutes. And that'll be a lot of fun to watch, because why not? So actually, what I'm curious is what actually made you come up with the name? Because I'm going to spoil something right now. Decode is actually working on a logo for this series, but he has no idea how to make it, because I think he's taking the word blast like literal. His first idea to me was like a nuclear explosion, but the top of the nuke looks like a loaf of bread. So I was kind of laughing at that. I was like,
yeah, I wish I could tell you. I wish I could tell you, and I wish I could tell Deco that there's some great story to it, and then he can use that for his art. But to be honest, it was just like, what is it? It's a video about lore, and it's quick. So I was just thinking of words that sort of summarize kind of punchiness and explosivity and that kind of stuff, and just and I just kind of settled on. And Blast was the working title. I thought I'll just put that in and kind of kept going. And then when I was making it, I thought, do I have any better ideas? Not really. And that's kind of what I went with. I just, again, keep the title punchy for a punchy series.
Yeah, that's fair. And Deco will think of something. It's okay. It was supposed to be revealed in this episode, but I think he didn't give himself enough time because he's so busy like deck building and like talking to the pros and stuff. And it's like, don't strain yourself, my dude.
I can forgive him as well for wanting to find something like more intricate to make. But I think just keeping it again in the nature of the series, keeping it simple. Might be fine.
Worst case scenario, maybe I'll do the nuclear explosion with a loaf of bread on top. We'll see how that.
Why not? Why not?
It actually looks so funny when he showed me that idea, and I was like, oh my gosh, dude, really? This looks like a loaf of bread, man.
Why not? I mean,
Okay, I think that's the end of the podcast. I don't know why the other two are here. It's just...
See you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So we're gonna, I'm gonna go to Arya next, because Arya, how did you feel when I suddenly came up to you and said, do you want to voice act these lines for me? And I want to make one comment actually, is during your ethne lines, I don't know if you noticed, but like the fact that it sounded so echoed, like it felt so like powerful, because ethne obviously is like the leader of the Dryads, right? And like, yeah, you had like a bit of this echo behind your voice. I'm like, holy crap, that ethne is so good. Like, I don't know if like you noticed it or like anyone else noticed it, but like, I don't know, it was just really nice. Anyway, it's not my job to praise you. So how did you feel? How did you feel when I came up to you one day and be like, you want to voice act these lines for me just for the remake video? And
honestly, weird, because I know I am like a parrot, and anything I hear in Gwent, I immediately repeat on my stream. That's kind of what happened. But it's like more of a thing I can't control. Like a small kid that goes in the car and goes like reads everything they see. That's how I feel about voice lines. And so when you came up and you were like, can you actually do this? I was like, I don't know. Can I? Do you want to hear it? Is it something you want to put into a video actually? So yeah, then you were like, I'm fine with that, and put it into video, and that's the end of the story for me. I was like, I'll never hear it. I don't want to hear it. Don't make me listen to myself. And and that's it. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so I think
we now know something to use against you.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, that's an easy thing for anyone that reads. That's a big part of why I include so many interesting things for Enzo to edit, because the less time I have to spend hearing my own voice on the playback, the better. So when I get the video back and it's like, I just throw in Vi-Jam into a video and just put all these things. The less I have to hear me, the better. Yeah,
so true. Oh yeah, I still can't get over. I was actually rewatching all of the Lore Blast episodes yesterday before the Jacques one got uploaded, and yeah, watching the Azur one, just having the Vi slowly appear to the V-Jam music, I was like to
be honest, to give you a window into the creative process, I'm pretty sure that the idea of putting that song into a video came before the idea for the video. I'll be honest.
Oh yeah.
I want to put Vi-Jam in somewhere. How are we gonna do this?
Exactly, right? Like you already have some of these cues that you have in mind before you even start writing the whole thing over. And so that's a little bit a pro tip for you, Moriarty. Make sure you include more female characters, because between tell
Sapkowski to write more of them then. I don't know. What do you mean include more? I've already got the characters I've got, man. All right.
Go explore Squirtle more, man. Do more of the dryads and stuff.
Yeah,
Oh,
true,
yeah.
true.
So, because like you think I have a choice when it comes to looking for female voice actors? You only have 2 in the content team, so make her do more.
Well, there's one in the academia team too, perhaps.
Could always get Denpai to do it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
true. There's
We-
Denpai. Yeah, if he
Denpai.
ever responds to my messages. Sorry, I
Oh,
can't
yeah.
control that. I'm sorry, I can't control that.
Sometimes it's very slow with responding, but
And worst case scenario with Arya, I'll just get Calvino to talk to her. They have a Discord together, so
Yeah.
no problem.
But I would be happy to try and voice act more. I just don't want to listen to myself afterwards, so that's fine.
I'm the
That's
totally
fair.
opposite. I love to hear myself.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I was lying earlier. I'm more like that as well.
Yeah.
Mm.
I guess you get used to it, but I think we talked about it with someone that I already got used to hearing myself speak in Czech. And with English, it's like a whole nother thing, and it starts all over, and I'm just like, ooh.
But I think it's
You know?
also because you're worried that, like, you know, obviously your English isn't as good as your Czech. So, you know, you already have people, you're already worried about what other people might think when you speak English, but then to hear yourself speak English, it's like you're even more of a self-critic towards yourself.
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, your English is better than my Czech, so.
Yeah, your English is better than my Czech, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so BJ, wait, why? So why are you here? Why did
I
you
don't
come
know,
here?
Man.
Are
I'm
you
just here. You didn't want to invite Gascon anymore, man. So I was like, I'm forced
No,
to go
I think the
here.
funny thing is, like, I think up to the point. Well, I mean, you are the content manager, right? So, like,
Oh yeah.
you know, like considering that, I don't think any, like, are there any other teams doing like lore related stuff for The Witcher? I mean, you have individual channels, right?
Mm.
And
Yeah, but there's only a lot of individuals. doing
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
a lot of
for
There's
sure.
really good
individuals,
stuff
yeah.
too. Really good stuff as well.
Yeah, I don't see. I mean, Team R2s have the Yen Juni,
Oh,
I
yeah,
suppose,
yep.
which is lore,
Mm.
but it's not something similar to Lore Blast, I would say.
you're not, no, yeah, that's it. What's happened, BJ? I thought you like slamming other teams. Every single episode we do, you always slam a team for a reason.
Enzo teed that ball way up right there, and it was not volleyed whatsoever.
No, it was not. It clearly was not. I was like, I give him every opportunity. You know what it is? I think the fact that he's seeing you here, like live in person, you know, I think it made him fluster a little bit because
No, but it's fine. He's just reforming as a person. That's all. No more team blasting from now on. We
got
are
it. So he's
reformed
actually
content.
right. He's actually trying to become a wholesome manager. You
Well,
know
I mean,
what?
after the third lawsuit, you have to stop, don't you? Really?
Yeah, I can no longer carry on. You know, like,
That's fair.
I'm almost broke by now. You know. But perhaps it's because I've been, you know, live the whole weekend. You know, casting. being
That's
on
fair,
another
yeah.
podcast.
Pretty,
you know,
pretty
like,
yeah, it's pretty exhausting.
You know.
Yeah.
Perhaps my energy levels to slam other people is been a bit lower than usual.
Fair enough. That's totally understandable. Okay, I do have a question for you though, BJ. Which character in the Witcher universe do you think you can do like a bang-on impersonation of? It doesn't have to be like voice impersonation, but like, you know, like if you want to be sort of the main guy to like, you know, be in this episode, which Witcher character would you go for?
I mean, I would always go for Yorvit.
Just gonna.
Yeah.
Just
Yorvit.
write this down.
Write that down.
Yeah,
Write that down.
BJ equals your vet.
Yeah, Moriarty,
Okay.
if you don't do it, man, you're
I got it, man.
out, man. You're
I got
out.
you, man. I got you.
Wait, no, hold on. I'm in talks for Walter Veritas and Pavko Gale. Hold on. Wait.
Oh,
There's
still other
stuff too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to get anyone too excited, but we've been harassing those poor guys for
Yeah.
Walter Veritas and Pavko Gale lore. Like, give us something exclusive, and I'll put it in a video.
Yeah,
harassed.
exactly.
And I was saying to Enzo actually regarding that, like, can Bouja and Slama not do the recordings? of
Right?
the voice?
Right. Yeah. This is the. I mean, obviously they're very busy guys, but we are harassing them quite.
Hold on,
I mean,
wait,
actually, we are.
when am I
I've got Enzo
uploading-
harassing them.
When am I uploading this episode again? Looks like I'm not uploading that now until the Pavko Gale lore is released.
I've got Enzo harassing them about giving us anything. Like I'm there like just pleading, please, a crumb of Pavko Gale, one crumb of Pavko Gale, please.
it's kind of funny because I remember when the content chat started happening like every other Thursday, and like I remember in the first meeting, it's like, you know, why you don't show up in the meeting, and I'm like, no, it's okay, I'll vote for him. He brings us the most views. I mean, he's incredibly busy. He's a teacher, but no, in retrospect, he did give us the most views. Maybe that's why I can vouch for you.
I'll be the first to put my hand up and say that I have no, like, my excuse for not coming to the meetings is literally work, which I know that everyone has work and everyone makes time for it anyway. I've just decided that I can't do it. But you know, I'm waiting for the day when. Right now, they're giving me a very soft touch. It's very much like a you know, bad Moriarty. Make sure you come, and that's all it is. So until I start seeing BJ sharpening the punishment stick, then I'll start to worry a little bit. I don't want to get paddled just yet.
Maybe you should replace that blower you use when you celebrate for a stick to get people to start showing up more and doing their work.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually wondering, some of the newer people might have never seen your face, Moriarty, man.
Oh,
This is gonna be
I know,
your
yeah, I
face
know.
reveal
I know.
for some of
Yeah,
them.
it's gonna be weird for some people, right? They'll be thinking, I'll put his face away, stick to the voice. I don't want to see him.
I feel like some of them be like, how come Enzo's working with this unknown guy in the BG like podcast and they're not working with me? It's like, what? Who's this guy?
It's this upstart, this plucky, lucky Welsh lad. What's he doing? Like, what has he ever done for us?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Get him out of here.
It's not like he's ever given us like a video that's given us like 400 views. Like,
Get him out
on.
of here. Well, you know. To be fair, like I will caveat this by saying that Denpai was really a big part of why I'm gonna go off a tangent here. I mentioned this in the Christmas interviews, but a big part of why I was such a fan of Bandit Gang and why I've loved it so much here is the fact that when Denpai approached me to ask if I'd be interested in joining, I basically explained that, you know, I'm a full-time teacher, and like my commitment, if you like, is going to be lesser just by the nature of that. And, you know, I can't promise literally anything. I said I could stop streaming tomorrow and never come back for all I know. Like, I could unplug my computer and you won't see me for months. I don't know. And he was like, that's cool, man, don't worry about it. And like, that was it. That was fine. Like, it just was great. Because like, I don't want you to, like, you know, put your brand on my name and regret it later. So that's the one thing I will say, that there was a transparency from the beginning there, which I really appreciated. And I've been supported through as well.
Yeah, I mean, we really wanted a voice actor on the team, so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was so fun. Like,
it really adds to the dynamic. Yeah.
The say no to net decking thing was one of the funnest things I've ever recorded.
Yeah.
It was so fun. I had so much fun with it.
Even though that one was like half edited, it's like I spent until the morning of I had no choice but to go to work to edit, and then I just gave the rest to Bomblin and BJ. And I feel like they weren't expecting me. They were like, oh wait, shit, he's given all this stuff, so you have to finish it. What the hell are we supposed to do? And I'm like, yeah, let's finish it.
It was so fun.
It ended up so well. Yeah, I think like there's definitely a lot more plans in the works. Like, I know me and Karos are talking about, you know, writing our own custom story, like completely off the script, probably not Witcher like canon, but like, you know, using Witcher characters and making it consistent. So, and maybe like having obviously voice actors for that is so great. So no, like definitely from a dynamic perspective of not just having streamers and content creators, not to bash streamers or anything, but there's plenty of you. There's enough of you as it is.
What do you say about that, Arya?
Go on, Arya. Go on, have a word.
I don't. I'm speechless.
She's
Not slammed her.
She's not the
Streaming's hard, man. Streaming's hard.
Yeah, don't underestimate streaming.
Streaming is hard. I didn't appreciate. I was thinking like, oh, I'll stream tons because I'm on vacation, and then once work starts again, I'll stream every other day. And like every day after work, I was like, it's fun, but I do not have the energy for this.
Yeah.
Like even that my channel never got any higher than like 30 viewers unless I got rated, which is fine. That's great. I'm perfectly fine with that. But like even that, like a very slow moving chat was like, I'm giving these people nothing. I'm just sitting here playing a game quite quietly. I've got nothing left. Yeah. It's so hard to have energy. Anyone who jumps into the stream after working their day job and has energy, I have nothing but admiration for them. That's crazy to me.
And we recently talked about this, that what I have to do, Moriarty, is that I actually put streams in my work calendar, like it's in my Google Calendar. So I am, and I do the same on the team meeting. I'm like, where do we do this next? Like, can I write it down? And I do the same with streams, and it's in my calendar. So I basically it's like a non-brainer. I don't really think like, do I want to stream today? No, it's like, it's in my calendar. I got the notification, and I do that, you know? Because otherwise I would be like, maybe I'll take a nap.
That's how it starts. That's how it was for me. That's how it was for me very early on. I would think of it as because I saw it as a hobby before, which most of us do, because that's the healthy attitude to have, right? Is it's a hobby first, then if it becomes a career, that's great. But I kind of thought, well, it's a hobby, so when I want to do it, I'll do it, and I just assumed that I would want to do it regularly, and I just ended up finding it was actually more like work.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much the case, right? I mean, I haven't streamed myself for like a month or something, but I feel like it also has really to do with the game, you know, and the state of the game. If Gwent is not as much fun, I'm like more tinker towards not playing, you know.
And that's where you need to work hard and make it for yourself, you know, because obviously you can be like, oh, it's not fun, I won't stream, or you can really go and do something like Merson does and be like, okay, I'll do a challenge, and that's what will make a good content, because I will not be forced to make content, you know.
Yeah, definitely. I think as well is that for me, like. I look at like just the streams and stuff. My streams are always fine, but I look at some of the work that goes into like say, your stream, Aya, for example, which is like a crazy high production value, it's a really entertaining stream. I look semi often, not to put you off, but I don't chat always. But like usually if I'm like doing dishes or something or marking some work, I put like somebody from Bandit Gang on in the background, which is often you because you stream at a good time for me. But like I just think like there's some guys and girls in this team that are exceptionally good streamers, better than I've ever been or probably ever could be. But I've found. And that's not me being self-deprecating, but more the fact that I found a niche where I think I excel, which is in these kind of like script writing and performance stuff. So, and I'm perfectly happy to direct my creative focus there instead, because there's plenty of streamers in Bandit Gang who are putting out like the top shelf content, and I don't think we need me half-assing it when I could be doing something that I'm much better at.
Yeah, right.
I think I'm just coming off of a stream where I had like Rithwick, Bunny, and my friend slamming me for not watching anime. So I had this like little 3-on-1 back and forth between why I think anime sucks and why they love anime. So maybe that's why I'm just a little bit salty this morning. But
that's the best thing ever though. I love when someone comes into the chat with the intent to be a bit antagonistic, because like you're the one that can speak. So it's like you can just start rambling at them. What are they gonna do? Like, by the time
Mute me.
by the time they've replied to your first point, you're on point 18 subsection B.
Exactly.
You know, like,
and it's like, sorry, what are you talking about? What?
Sorry, that was like 20 minutes ago, man. What do you mean? I'm still like we moved on. We moved past
exactly,
that.
right?
That. Come on.
We moved past that.
That's not even their fault. It's just because of like that
No,
delay. It's like that's
because
the
delay.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I can say much more in 30 seconds than they can type in 30 seconds. So
I think that's why, like, for like in my situation, like I prefer like co-op streams like the best, but it has to be with someone who like also understands the way I operate when it comes with other people. Because like when I'm with someone else, I will make sure to do everything I can to like push their buttons. Like Arya knows a lot about this. Whenever I hop on her stream, I always try to like push her and Calvino's buttons and all that stuff. Like it can get like a little extreme sometimes, but you know what? That doesn't sound like my problem. So.
Yeah, I always get banned in RS chat.
What? You never got
I haven't been banned yet. I haven't been banned
Well, you know what, BG? Maybe you earned it. Do you ever think about that?
Probably.
A little timeout never hurt nobody, okay?
Little sit on the naughty step. Think about what you've done. Nothing wrong with that.
So you mean to tell me, Moriarty, that you lurk on people's streams instead of writing your next script? What are you doing?
Mate.
Moriarty?
Literally, the last full confession time. The last time you messaged me before I finished the Jack script, where I was saying like it's basically done, but I've got a lot of work to do. I wasn't lying about the work. I did have work to do, but I was putting off both my work and your script by watching Arya. Not even kidding. I had my books to mark on my left. I had like the document for the Jack script in front of me on one tab, and then I had Arya in another. And I was like, yeah, man, I'm working on it. I'm really busy. I was watching a stream instead. Full disclosure. I mean, I did do the script, and it was done, and I didn't do much of the marking actually. But yeah, full disclosure, I spent a lot of time looking on.
Nah, that's totally.
I do.
That's fine. It's okay.
But it's like, I don't need the script. I'm like, yeah, he does.
Maybe I'll just watch her play a little bit. Yeah, sure. But no, it's okay. I mean, like, as long as, I meet the deadline, right? Like, that's really all that matters to me. It's just all about that deadline. Like, anything that happens before that, like, it's literally like the Wild West. It's all fair game. Like,
yeah, well, I mean, we said going in that, like, the weekly was great, but we knew that once like, your project started to amp up and once my work started to amp up, it would have to be more like fortnightly eventually. Like, we knew that.
Exactly.
We knew that from the beginning, that it would become probably a fortnightly series.
Yeah, that's why I tried to make sure that we had these other series to sort of, like, do the filler on the BG channel. And no worries. Like, I haven't been hearing people asking for like, where's the next Lore Blast series?
Where is he? Like, where is that selfish Welsh little?
Exactly, right?
Where is he?
But I think we did a good job of not overhyping the series so that it doesn't become like too high on demand.
I mean, yeah, like I'm all for like selling your product and like making it really big and hyping it up and trying to market it. I think that's absolutely fine. I think you're totally right to do that. I think it's risky at the beginning, which is
Yeah.
ironic because that's the time when it matters most. But I think that's like the benefit. Like if I was doing this on my own, or we were doing it collaboratively, but on our own, separate from Bandit Gang. Say neither of us were here, right?
Yeah.
Like we would need to oversell it to get any traction. We would need to really oversell it, and that would be really scary. But the benefit of doing it through this is that like we can, like people are going to look at it because it's going to be on the Bandit channel. So like people are going to see it. We can advertise it in the channels. People visit those places. We don't need to be like really hammering home how good it is. We can just let the product speak for itself. And then if people like it, then we can start doing teasers and like you do really well, and trying to kind of get more people in. But I think it came out great, which is good, but there was a very real chance, especially with the new series, that the first couple wouldn't be good. I had no doubts that Lord Blast would be good eventually. I had no doubts because the idea is solid, but you can't say for sure that the first ones are going to be okay. Like take for example, like my edited one, which could have been a lot better, or some of the scripts. There's some notes looking back on on the War of Clans one. There's like something that I didn't include in that script that I meant to, it was in my notes and I forgot to put it in the final script because I'm an idiot.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Thinking about it, it's like I should, it went in the discard pile and it should have gone in the other one. The Skellige joke for you there. But it should have, I should have included that and I forgot. And nobody really picked up on it because if you didn't know, only I knew it was missing, right? But no one was that bothered. But it's things like that. Like if you hype it up, it's this conclusive, like completely, series, and people will start to nitpick. Whereas if you just kind of go, hey, here's a thing we're trying, let us know what you think. People give you a lot more credit, I think, to make mistakes, right? And I think that was important for us getting started. Now we can hell Enzo to the moon, mate. Let's start throwing it everywhere. But early on, I would have been really quite frightened about what I was putting out if we had, spent weeks hyping it up like that.
Yeah, for sure. And then another factor of it is, you say your supposedly busy schedule where you're just watching our lurk stream when you should be doing other stuff. I'm just kidding. But like it's like you tease up an episode and then like suddenly you're like, oh wait, I have something to do now I can't do anything. I was like, what are you talking about? We had this all planned and everything, and it's like, but yeah, no, it's totally understandable. Like I know you take it hard on yourself where you're like, I promise I would get you this, like, but I couldn't because of work and stuff. Like, I totally understand. It's like, there's like plenty of series. I have a lot of other series I put on hold because sometimes I'm forced to put them on hold and they tell me not to upload it until we're ready. Beginner series. And then like between the community chats and like the whole trash talk freaking professional wrestling shit that BJ's gonna start gonna debut on, so there's gonna be some production work for that one as well. So yeah, no, like in our ways, like we're just just incredibly busy, so it's totally understandable.
It's a bit of a niche thing, actually. The wrestling trash talk thing. Are you familiar with the Scott Steiner maths rant? BJ?
Oh my god! Didn't Zubinu post that link on the? Posted that. Yeah, the maths promo.
It was funny. It was funny when he linked that. I was thinking like that is the perfect idea for like a Gwent maths video. Like a perfect, there's something in there for that. I think there's something there. Like there's something in there. I think for like a Gwent maths video, with just a Scott Steiner rant video. Anyway, sorry. I thought when Zoom posted that, I was like, this. You got to check that out, BJ. There's potential there, I think.
Okay, I will.
Maybe it's time we actually get BJ into professional wrestling. Maybe for him to understand. It's time for him to understand the beauty of creating characters, writing promos, trash talking people, writing stories.
I mean, for me, it would be worth it just to put him in Lycra. It'd be worth it, I think.
Oh no.
There's actually a picture edited of two wrestlers fighting each other with like a logo of me, like one of the old logos. Like I can send it to you and we can show it there.
Would that be the thumbnail of the first episode, I guess?
Gotta be good.
That would be good.
No, you made it happen now.
No,
BJ.
the theme's a little bit.
Bomblin in there as well, like because I'm gonna beat him.
Oh yeah, it's BJ versus Bomblet. Oh my goodness. Well, you know what? The good news is this is coming out after the Coliseum episode comes out. So
that's good. That's good then. Yeah. Okay,
exactly. Good. So I'm actually curious about something, Moriarty. So like I've done script writing before for a secondary channel, which I haven't gotten around to because I need a freaking second video editor. Speaking of BJ, we need to talk about that. I do have someone in mind. But I find that script writing can take some time because you gotta do your research, right? And you want to make sure you get as much of the detail in as possible because for those people who are very lore heavy and that love to pick into the lore, if they see that you miss one small detail, they'll call you out for it like they're from Reddit, which they probably are from Reddit. So how long does it take you to do all the research, get all the script writing done? get it all recorded and then sent to me? Like, do you do this all in one take when you do the recording, or do you do it in like multiple takes?
No, gosh, no. No, absolutely not. That'd be terrible. So it depends on the topic with the writing a little bit. Generally speaking, if the lore is predominantly found in the game, or i.e. Gwent or the Witcher games, then that's much quicker. I find that if I have to delve into the books a lot, that can take a lot longer because I like to if I'm going into the book area, which I'm happy to do, but I want to make sure the quotes are right. I don't trust like wikis and third-party websites for that always, so I'll often like find the book and then pull up a PDF of the book and find the quote myself, which takes a bit longer, just to be sure. And I'm glad I did, because there was a few, like the Fractionate one's a great example. There were several quotes there where like I think the person who was putting the quotes up on like the wiki had like taken from another edition, or maybe like a poor translation, and the English wasn't. Like English was accurate, like as in the English made sense, but it changed the meaning of the conversation. So I was glad that I found so I was glad I found the original of that one. Because that's the sort of thing that someone would pick you up on, and rightly so. So that was important, and that takes a long time. I'd say in general, writing a script, generally speaking, overall takes in the regions of like 4 or 5 hours, not in one go, because obviously I don't have that kind of time slot. But generally speaking, I'll spend an hour. Like say, I've told you on Sunday, I'll get it to you by the following Sunday. I usually will spend 4 or 5 of those days in that week doing an hour, give or take, because the research takes the biggest chunk of that, because I do what I used to do when I wrote essays like for university. I just take all of the sources and all of the quotes and stuff that I want and just jump it in a garbled mess of a document without any rhyme or reason, and then I just put it, and then I just make a structure and then go right. So I'm beginning and usually the structure is chronological because so that's easy enough, and then just go through it like that, and that's fine. And then recording, then generally speaking, takes little more than like half an hour, 40 minutes, honestly. And how I record is pretty straightforward. I've already split the script. You see my scripts rough anyway. You see the rough. I send you the rough forms so you can prepare your editing. So Enzo sort of knows how these look, but they're kind of broken into little segments. And like one section might be in 4 or 5 little segments, and I'll just record a segment and then stop. And then just record a segment, stop. Record a segment, stop. So, which means then there's more room to change things. And also, if I just start stuttering halfway through a sentence, I haven't got to start all the way back 5 minutes earlier, or like edit out that stutter and then try and pick up where I left off so it sounds seamless, because that's really hard to do. If I have to interrupt myself mid-sentence and then have to like go again, it's hard to continue a sentence or start a sentence in the midst of a paragraph and make it sound seamless if I'm starting again. I find that hard anyway, and I don't even know if anyone notices that in the videos. There's like 1 or 2 cases in a video where I had no choice but to do that, and I don't know if anyone ever notices, but I notice every time. So, but recording doesn't take long at all. I find that's the quickest part. Easily.
Arya got bored of us.
Just walked away. Benny's awake.
I don't know how I feel about this being hijacked. No, I'm kidding.
Hi, buddy.
I'm kidding.
You gotta appreciate the dancer, man.
Look at him.
He's so rarely awake. You gotta put him in the podcast.
Hello, buddy.
Fair enough. That's fair.
Hello.
No, it's just Moriarty talks about somebody being antagonistic. I'm taking that role, and I play a damn good hell of a job on it. So.
No, the script writing, it can take, as I said, if I'm focusing mostly on game lore, which was the case for Jacques predominantly, was from the games, that doesn't take very long. The Jacques script research did not take very long.
Yeah.
Relative to the others, neither did the Harold, the War of Clans one, because the War of Clans, like in the detail that we have now, is pretty much entirely Gwent. That's given us the meat of that, so that didn't take very long. But then like Fractionate took a lot longer, and Double Cross took a lot longer as well, because they come from the stories.
I think with the Herald one, they made a lot of references of it, like with the current state of The Witcher 3, because I think I think they mentioned that Hurricane Drummond was supposed to get her revenge on the aftermath of that war, but clearly after like the leadership of The Witcher 3 was still that alliance, she never really got around to it. So
the lore on it was a really good video topic. I was really glad we had it, because it was something that like everyone who been in The Witcher is kind of familiar with, because you just have the Blue Boy, you have the Madman Lugos storyline in The Witcher 3 that kind of dabbles into that. But the Gwent, I love when Gwent takes something that exists and goes, let's just give it more detail, and let's add more cards and add flavor text and add things and really paint the story. Let's use the medium to like build upon the story a little bit, and I love that so much. And there's so many like voice lines that like tell a story of that whole exchange, which we use in the video, and I think it was just such a good way to. It was a really good introduction to your style of editing as well, because there was lots of conversations and things like that to bring in. It was a really lovely topic.
Actually, to be fair, like the way I find myself edit, I like to adapt to like how the people talk. So my editing style, I like it to be one that can change depending on who like I bring in like as a voice actor, because when I don't know, have you ever seen the Deckless video where Keros is the one talking? Two completely different dynamics, by the way, when it comes to recording. Like with you, I've gotten used to because we've been working together for like, you know, these past like 5 episodes, including the Jacques one. If you haven't watched it, go watch it.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
Witcher 1 spoilers though. Witcher 1.
You know,
Witcher 1 spoilers.
You know, I'm gonna sidetrack here a little bit. I like in the back of my mind, I should have thought about putting in a spoiler, but I'm like, we're gonna lose views.
I genuinely, I said this in the server, like it was a mistake on my part, and no one should feel silly for being spoilt if they were spoilt. That's my fault. But a thought occurred to me briefly, but I genuinely thought, if you're watching a Witcher lore video, like Witcher 1 is so old.
You're signing up to.
I kind of took that as like passive
spoilers.
consent, but enough people were like, oh, I should have been warned, that I was like, okay, I my fault. I'll make sure I do in the future.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. But yeah, so what was I saying again?
Keros.
Oh yeah,
Keros,
So the editing. The editing, the talking dynamic between you and Christo is like two completely different ends of the spectrum, man. Like for Keros, like with you, right? Like, so the first episodes, the Herald and the World Clans, you know, that was like a almost 5-minute video. It took me about like 5 hours to start off with, and then, you know, once I got used to, you know, your style of storytelling, I kind of know where to mark the transitions and when to make that change. And so like, you know, even though like the Jacques one took like 8 hours, it was like a 7-minute video. It took me like about 3 hours to put it all together once I got all the Photoshop stuff and that done. With Keros, the video editing alone, not including me collecting all of the clips and the images, like all those movie scenes and stuff, plus the editing, took me a total of 8 hours for a 4-minute video because of just how different his style of talking is. It's like when he goes into that voice mod, how am I supposed to like match it to make it, you know, to make it match his freaking intense, like almost Darth Vader style voice? Like, it's just so crazy. He told me to add lights and smoke, and I'm like, I can add smoke, that's fine.
I like that.
But I don't know how to add the lights. I don't know.
All I'm hearing from this is that I should be making my lore blasts more dramatic. Is all I'm getting.
You know what? It would add a very good challenge. You know, yeah. It would make for a very good challenge. I actually wouldn't mind if you tried.
I'd like more lights in my lore blast, please. I want smoke in my next lore blast.
Are we talking about actual like Hollywood lights? You know, the ones that are like waving.
I want you to turn on your webcam and start a fire
on
in the next lore blast.
On Arya's screen right there. You want those kinds of lights?
Yes, yeah. Can we just get the Arya's nightclub and bar in?
Happy anytime.
That could make for a perfect scene. Yeah.
You know something I've thought of? What if? Oh, sorry, Pete, you were saying something?
I mean, yeah, at Bandit game, we're all about experimenting, you know, like, and see if we can grow, you know, with something, with an idea that we have. So perhaps this idea could be the new gap in the market, you know.
Wait, what idea? Are you talking about Arya's nightclub and bar? What's going on?
Yeah.
Is the new Passiflora?
Hey, you called it a Passiflora. I didn't say that.
Well, me.
You called it the Passiflora. I didn't say that. I just called it a bar.
I didn't say that either.
Well, I mean, all the bars in Gwent are so boring. Come on, all they do in there is play Gwent. Come on, like, make it a bit more interesting.
Perfect.
So something I've been entertaining the idea of, like, what would a dialogue between Arya and Bomblin sound like?
Ooh.
That would be something.
So
they've been co-oping lately a lot.
Yeah, and it's been a lot of fun.
No, the dynamic's been enjoyable. Like, I really enjoy the dynamic. So what character? Okay, so if I am, you know, I'm gonna make you voice act something again, like in the near future. Like, you know, what character do you think? And Moriarty, make sure you take notes on this, whether it's in your head or write it down. What characters would you feel like you want to try? You know, voice acting or like impersonating, or I don't know how to word this. You get the idea.
Yeah, I don't have the answer for you, but like what I remembered now is in the Czech version of Witcher 1, in the Czech like when it was voiced in Czech, the dwarves they spoke Slovak, so they had like a really different language, but you can understand it as a Czech person because Slovak and Czech is really similar. So, but they have like a heavy accent, let's say, you know. And I don't think it translates that well in English. They still speak English, right? But what I think it could be really interesting is to make like Bomblin maybe voice some dwarves, because he has we could do like a Slav Slav version of
I
Lord
would
Mouse?
love to write in Slav
Oh,
Bombing
yeah.
Dwarf.
That's the title. Slab Bombing Dwarf.
I would
Lord
love
last
to
episode.
write that in.
Let's do that. That's not a voice acting.
Come on,
job
Arya,
for
now.
me,
Come on,
but-
Arya. Let's put a gun to your head here now. Pick a character. Pick somebody that you would love to voice. Go
I
on.
can
come
be
on.
Anyone.
playing a she
Come on.
dwarf.
Go on.
I don't know. No, but what's that? Isn't there like a card of a dwarf and someone else in Syndicate? Like, I think there is. No, they're fighting together.
Oh, you mean like
Bloody good friends.
yeah, bloody good
Yeah,
friends
but-
and bloody good friends and those guys. That story.
So
yeah, could
are
that
you
be-
trying
could
to
that be a friend?
are you trying to describe you and Bomblin's friendship, bloody good friends?
But the cipher
Oh.
potions are the other way around. Okay.
Look at
That's
this.
pretty fun.
She's
Pretty fun.
she deflected the question right to Bomblin.
No.
I'm
Very
sorry.
well.
No,
Have
but
a-
She did.
honestly, I would like something from the we mentioned Passiflora. I really like those voice lines. That I
She
like.
said it,
The
not
right
me.
and
See?
Diamond for little
I
me.
mean-
You
I mean,
know,
yeah,
something
actually-
like that.
Can I be the gay elf? There's a
Yeah.
gay
Hey,
elf dancing.
you're
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
in the crowd,
definitely. It would be my pleasure, BJ. Absolutely. Like, oh, it's great. The first ever rated R Lore Blast with Arya and
Let's do
BJ
it.
Oh,
as
yeah,
the Passiflora.
Let's do
There's
it.
actually a meme made by Weisenberg where he made me the gay elf, and he and Villa were some other characters in the card art. Maybe I can look it up.
You know what, BJ? It's just so you're so serene and graceful with your hand movements and
So
the way you
graceful.
talk, and you got people saying you have such a sexy voice. Like
Yeah.
maybe it
And
fits
you
all
ha-
too well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you haven't seen me dance yet, Enzo.
Hello, BJ Jam. Huh?
I can give you that lap dance, man.
Oh, it's not me. I'm not the one you're giving that dance to.
It's for research, Enzo. Grin and bear it, mate.
Yeah, you
Research.
gotta test it.
No, it's okay. I'm good. My hands are full already. Oh wait, I gotta go teach. Sorry, I have more teaching to do.
No, I'm actually streaming in an hour, so Moriarty is busy in an hour. My stream starts soon.
Yeah, we gotta. It's just you guys. You guys have fun. We gotta go. Oh dear.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like it's just been a 50-minute long episode of just interrogating Moriarty and like, how do you?
This is
How'd you get
basically
into
a Gwent community chat with Moriarty, man.
Yeah,
That's true. Yeah, we could.
and
do
we are
that.
there just to witness it.
Yeah, I feel like this could have been a community chat episode, but I'm like, Arya's been involved already, so it's like I'll drag her in here as well, just to have her 5-minute talk about how she felt about having like 3 or 4 voice lines, and then.
To be fair, I did want to hear that out of your mouth, Arya, because I did want to know that you were comfortable with it and you liked it. Because obviously, I'm not going to start writing you characters if you're dreading it, but I'm glad to hear that you enjoyed it and you found it a good experience. Because I'll keep doing that then.
I mean,
Yeah,
she's
perfect.
making me edit the beginner series, which I have to listen to Chris. Oh my god! So it's so fun. I think when he recorded his first episode, I feel like he just tried to go for the whole like 18 minutes without a break, because I noticed like there were like some slip ups and stuff. That's why I wanted to ask you, like, how many takes do you take when you do the recording, right? And do you also take break, or like do you do the whole thing in one go, or do you sometimes take breaks in between and then you go back?
I
into
try.
it?
I mean, it's a bit different because they're shorter videos. But even when I'm recording longer form projects, I tend to. I either go for until the project is done or until 2 hours have passed, and then I stop.
Yeah.
And then I'll come back later, because just no particular method to that. There's not some great trade secret there. It's just kind of how I work, is that when I start recording and doing takes of lines and stuff, either my recordings are done or 2 hours have passed, and then I take a break.
That's fair.
Which is how I've done it, like with longer projects and stuff, is how I tend to do it there. But there's no like trade secret about that. That's just kind of how I operate.
Well, what I feel like, Enzo, you just need to give me and Krista, make us take a break, because you can see that in the scripts of the beginner series as well. I start writing the script, and in the middle, the sentences stop making sense, and at the end, it's barely letters. And if that happened with Krista too, maybe we should all do it in at least 2 takes,
Well, I mean, I don't tell you guys how you write your scripts and record. I wait for you guys to finish everything. So I feel like that's on you to, to handle that for yourselves. Because I'm just waiting for the end results, whether it takes 2 weeks or 2
Yeah.
months. I mean, obviously, like when I have to listen to it for the entire recording, right? And plan out how I'm gonna, Like, and that's why I was so tired this morning when I woke up, because I was like collecting all of these images just to like fit with what Christo is saying. So, you know, and the actual editing starts on Monday and it will be released Wednesday. So we will have something for that. But no, like when I asked Arya to, you know, to voice line the Syrian ethnic, literally out of nowhere, I gave her no warning whatsoever. I told her, get this done for me ASAP, hurry up, I gotta get the video finished. No, she was very willing to do it, and I feel like, you know, if we can get another, like, I feel like it could be just be too much pressure if we have Arya do all the voice for female characters, or maybe even some of like the male. Maybe we can have her do like a Dandelion
I don't see why
dialogue.
not.
His voice is rather high.
Honestly, I don't see why not. Honestly, like I think I really don't see why not.
I'd love to see her try a Geralt
Her
impersonation.
performances,
I'd love it.
her performances. Like I said, her performances on the one that we sent were really good. So
Yeah.
at any point, you know me, I don't really write the scripts with people in mind as such. Just characters appear.
That's fair.
And so when you said to me, "Oh, how about we get X, Y, Z person to do this part?" I was like, "Yep, do it. Why not?" Because I'm not you know, greedy about it. Like if the variety of voices is good, and I know that the guys and girls that Enzo will speak to will be good as well. So
I want all the commission for the views for this show, all $10 of it.
But it's like, you know, if Enzo says, you know, oh, hey, should we maybe get some different voices for this to break, you know, like all that stuff? I'm like, yeah, go for it. Why not? Like, sure, of course.
Well, I mean, just out of respect, and I am gonna be wholesome here for a second. No, but out of respect, you know, I want to make sure I ask you, right? Because this is your script, you know, you're the one that came up with the idea, but like, you know, but at the same time, I guess there's a reason why you titled me as the YouTube director. Like, literally, I think it's like literally coming into play for this one, because I'm trying to check who amongst the team is like, you know, and I will get around to everyone, but obviously you can't include like a lot of characters into one go, and you know, not everyone's gonna have like a dialogue scene. But you know, I was really happy when I saw the Geralt and Jacques dialogue, and you know, it was very appropriate too, because you know of their interactions in The Witcher 1. But yeah, no, like, all right, you're not the only female on the team, so I'll make sure I'll ask Branka as well. Maybe we can do like, if there's like an all-female dialogue, we'll have you guys going back and forth.
That'd be good.
Or like in the if there's a lore and there's passiflora involved, like probably you and Bomblin in the passiflora scene, like with like two whoever's talking. Actually, if there's a gay elf, then maybe BJ will do that one. But you know, there's ideas for sure.
Yeah, nice. Sounds good.
There's some ideas for sure.
I just really love, you know, that this series has turned into like a group effort, you know, like everyone working together. It's just been really nice to see, you know, Weevil and Christo now as well debuted in their last video. So yeah,
Weevil's
cool, right?
Weevil's voice of Dijkstra was so accurate. It's like I was listening to. I remember, like, I was like, who am I gonna get for Dijkstra? Like, because I was trying to listen to Dijkstra's Witcher 3, but I'm like, I can hear a little bit of Weevil in Dijkstra's voice. I'm like, Weevil, can you take care of this? It's only one line, but he nailed it bang on.
It's things like that, which is why I just trust Enzo to be like, oh, I think this person would be good at this line. I'm just like, just don't even need to ask twice, go for it, because they've all been hits so far. So
yeah, like it was a little bit muffled. Like, I don't know how he like did it, but like still, despite like, if you take off the muffled, it'll sound almost exactly like Dijkstra, and it was great. And the funniest part is he sent me 3 takes of the same line. I'm like, Weevil, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but you sent me 3 clips.
Oh, that's a man who's sent lines off as a voice actor before, because that's so 3 is so normal, and it's really funny.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it's funny because often I think directors don't understand why. Because often when I'm sending 3s, you do it in different inflections, right? The amount of times someone is like given no instructions about how to do different takes, and so you can either just go crazy or what. I once sent somebody 3 takes that were basically identical, and they sent back, "Oh, I love the 3rd one." I'm like,
they all sound the same.
Like, it was literally they were all exactly the same. I mean, they were different because I recorded. They weren't the same clip 3 times, but I did the same like tempo and delivery. Like, the 3rd one was so much better. I'm like, okay, cool.
Oh,
great.
They clearly know something that you don't. No, but it was funny with the Weevil one, actually. The reason why he sent me 3 clips, and when I listened to all 3, it was like his first 2 were incredibly quiet. I'm kind of happy he sent the 3rd one now. Because apparently he was talking to his chat about it, and then they thought it was too quiet, and then that's why he sent the resubmission. So it's like he sent me 2 like together, and then he sent the 3rd one like a couple hours later.
He was doing it with his chat.
He didn't say what it was for, but
that man is braver than me. I wouldn't dare do my recording process with my chat.
That's yeah.
I've streamed my editing process on the remake, dude. Like,
that's right. Yeah, that's a remake, man. Like, people.
Yeah, that's a remake. That's Yeah, that's great. I wouldn't dare like record. I mean, I used to have a point reward that was that sort of thing, but I wouldn't dare record my like stream my. Maybe I should do that. But
I don't know if he actually recorded it on stream. I think he might have just shown the chat his recording.
Yeah, I feel
showing
like
the
he
clip.
just
Oh, right, I
showed
see.
it,
Yeah.
I see. Sorry, I misunderstood.
How
I think
brave is Weevil, BJ? Is he brave? Is he a brave lad?
Nah, he can be a bit braver once in a
Brave
while.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But that's what I did when I was recording the aria for Denpai. I did it with my chat, and we ended up with like 10 versions of it. Because chat is always like, "Can you do it like this? Can you change it up? Can you do it like that?" And I'm like, "It's like 2 words. Come on."
That's the one thing with chat. They know everything. They're very wise.
Yeah, exactly. They're a
Very
bunch of
wise.
marks. No.
Well,
Very
don't
wise.
listen to them.
Come on.
But
I
no,
love my chat.
and Christo is the complete opposite. Is he did 1 take, and then I told him to do it 2 more times because I think for one of them his Discord went off, and then the time after that I think he banged his table during it. Like, oh my god.
I've done that before as well. Mine. Like I've been in the middle of a really good take, and like my phone is vibrated. I'm like, oh, maybe it won't come up. Maybe it won't come up, but maybe it'll be okay.
I think depends on what you're doing. There's always that one thing that like, you know, puts you off really much. As a video editor, the worst thing for me is when I record something and I forget to press record. It's like, oh my god. It's like I just spent this whole time like saying this stuff and I forget to press record and it's like 50 minutes long, so I gotta redo the whole thing again.
Sounds like something you would do, Enzo.
Oh, I've already done it. That's not new to me. I think everyone who's made at least like 10 or 100 YouTube videos has have to gone through that at some point, unless you're perfect. Like, Arya, have you made that kind of mistake before? I saw your video that you put up just yesterday.
Yeah, I did a video. Honestly, I don't remember that I forget to press record. I forget other stuff, like my camera has a thingy on it, you know, like the clip. What is it?
Like a cover or a shield.
Cover,
okay.
yeah. I don't put my cover on, like don't turn on my lights, or like I forget that I'm not, you know, wearing headset. I do this kind of stuff. Like I forget to plug things in, but I'm recording me panicking.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, stuff like that happens usually when you're in a rush, I suppose.
No, it happens when you have like a million tabs open in your brain, and you're like,
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry, BJ.
Yeah.
Do you know what it's like to have a million tabs open in your brain?
no.
No, thankfully not.
I have one tab open. And it's that Google tab. We don't have internet. It's just the jumping dinosaur. That's all I've got.
It's just while waiting for it to go on.
Oh.
It's just the jumping dinosaur. That's all I've got in my brain.
It's kind of funny because like between the 4 of us here, it's like you got Moriarty who's like busy with his school life and his, you know, all that marking and stuff and lurking on Arya's stream. You got Arya who's like, you know, dealing with like 20 clients like at once for like somehow. I don't know how you take that. And then there's
And
me.
Benny.
It's like plenty of Benny, exactly. Yeah, would have put some time in for Benny. And then there's me. It's like plenty of editing, like part-time. Sorry, not part-time. It's full-time work for me. Like holy shit, man. Freaking insane. And then BJ, what do you do again? You do.
I know you have a job. I know you have a job.
I have a job, guys. And
He's
I'm-
gainfully employed. Thank you very much.
So
and my managing, you know, is also a secondary job, you know.
no, that's fair. It was just a little bit.
I'm gonna keep you in reels, you know, like.
You don't want me to get too big and too egotistic, man. It's like, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Suddenly I'm gonna
Yeah,
leave and I'm gonna drag the voice actors and actresses with me. It's like, okay, guys, let's make a full-on Gwent movie. It's like, actually, that's
man.
something I've been thinking about too, because they've done Yu-Gi-Oh in real life, so like they do all like the animations for like showing up the monsters and stuff. I'm like, maybe we could do something similar for Gwent, but I'm still trying to think about how that's gonna work. It's gonna be switching a lot between the game and like IRL scenes, and maybe we'll do that when COVID's over and we can all like hang out together.
That would be pretty fun, actually.
That would be a lot
I
of
think that sounds
fun.
really entertaining.
I don't have enough cameras for
Oh
that.
yeah.
but-
I call shotgun on being the Northern Realms guy, please. I want to be the Northern Realms guy.
All right, I'll keep that in mind for sure.
We are more than happy to give you that role, Moriarty, because
Thank you.
Arya and I, we are both Scoidal lovers. So.
Yeah, filthy non-humans.
Like an arrow to the head instead.
All non-humans must die.
They're already.
Oh yeah,
voice
that
acting.
Jack line. Yeah, for the sake of humankind, all non-humans must
Yeah,
die.
exactly. Actually, oh my god, I remember when I was editing the Jacques video yesterday, I forgot to put in the voice line cues that I was like, oh shit, I gotta adjust and reshift everything. That's why the premiere didn't come out until like 15 minutes before, because I'm like, I feel like I listened to the whole thing and I'm in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm missing something. So I open up your docs and I'm like, oh shit, it's like insert line here, insert line here. It's like, oh no.
I'll have to share the scripts with some people sometime, because it is funny how like I will put in like a brackets like, hey Enzo, like all caps.
Oh, yeah.
Put this here. Because obviously I write it without him, then I send it to him on Gdocs, and it's like, so it's like, oh, script. There's random capital letters going, I was thinking we'd be doing this, but I don't know, what do you think? Close brackets, carry on. It's like randomly split, like in the middle of a paragraph, completely like halfway through a word sometimes. So I get excited. I put like, I'm halfway through typing the word because, like BEC, bracket. Oh, Enzo, by the way, close bracket.
Yeah.
You, like, because like, I think, oh, I got this idea, quickly write it down. And it's just half, I think like 90% of your job is deciphering the hieroglyphic text that I've left you.
Exactly.
Like, what does he want me to do?
Exactly. But I think the thing is, like, when I do that, like, sometimes I'll ask you what you think, sometimes I don't. I think more times I don't, because like I like to, you know, put my brain in there a little bit and, you know, apply sort of a little bit of my magic into it. But yeah, no, I like that it's turned out actually quite well. So, and it's been very enjoyable.
Once it's gone to you, like it's yours to do.
Yeah, it's
with
fair.
What you think
Yeah,
is right. Like,
throw it out in the trash bin. No.
Well, it's why you're here. Like, I understand, like, if it changes, like if it changes any like beats the script, I understand bringing it my way just to make sure that it still makes sense. But like, once it's left my hands and it's in yours, that's your wheelhouse. I wouldn't know how to give you suggestions. I wouldn't.
It's not my job. It's not your job anymore. Give it to this guy.
Like, I wouldn't, even if I wanted to give you some tips, I wouldn't know what to say. Like, I wouldn't have anything to.
Like, if anything, I'd ask you for clarification of context, and that's about it. But I think it's been pretty straightforward.
And we put that in the script anyway, right? Like this song here, that song, which is why I enjoyed putting in the double cross one brackets, Vi Jam here, close brackets.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, no, this has been a fun Moriarty interrogation with Arya and BJ acting as my deputies. It's been great having you here. I'll let you know what the judge says.
I'll see you.
How the jury votes on what they think about your series.
Guilty.
The guilty party.
Yeah, I'll see you next year when I'm free again.
Okay.
Sorry, man, you got some scripts to be writing within that year, so you still
but he can be in prison, you know. This is his job there.
Right, I should do. I should just make it. I should get my kids to write my script, shouldn't I? That's the trick.
Oh, we can do it for one episode.
Yeah,
Like
I should get one of my classes to write my script for me. That's the play here.
Oh,
that'd be pretty cool, actually.
Assignment.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Your homework is to write the next 3 episodes of Lore Blast.
Hey, don't tell me what it's for.
No, like,
Don't tell me what it's for. Just tell me, write the script.
No, just be upfront about it. Like, for extra credit on your assignment, I need you to write an essay on Pavko Gale.
You know what? You know what? Now that I think about it, now you have a question. I don't want to close this out yet. I want to ask you one more question. Do you actually have that kind of freedom when you teach your kids stuff like that? Like,
not that kind of freedom. not that far.
I was about ready to be like, make them write the next episodes.
Not that far. I mean, though probably more than you think though. Like, if I set like because I have an English teacher, if I set like a creative writing task and I'm giving them like story prompts and stuff, I could easily make my prompts like things from the Witcher universe without telling them it's from the Witcher universe.
So you're allowed to do that. Like, you actually have that power.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. As long as you have a remit. Yeah, I'm not gonna bore you with all this. You have a remit you have to follow. There's a curriculum you got to keep track of. You can't just do whatever you want. But like in the lens of like delivering the content, like for instance, if I'm giving a lesson on like creative writing techniques, if the examples I give are from The Witcher, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
Fine. But I can't be like, you must write as if you were in The Witcher as like a task, like that doesn't work. But like, I've used lots of examples and stuff. Like, I've used examples from The Witcher in my lessons before.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, I was about ready to be like, and now I know where to get the next set of scripts from.
Yeah, so it's tempting, but I think my boss might have something to say about that.
But no, I'm curious. No, I'm kind of happy like so that you were able to take some time off from your very busy schedule to yeah. Your reaction to that's like, oh, yeah. But yeah, no, we're gonna cap off the episode right here. Thank you so much for joining us today, and of course, thank you Arya as well. Even though I know that I'll ask her to do something, she'll probably get on it without like much resistance. If not, I'll get BJ and Denpai to interrogate her for me. But no, not regardless. Thanks for joining us here today, and I thank BJ, but he's been here like 3 times already, so it's like, do people even want to see you anymore?
Of course they want to see me.
You started off so sweet. What happened?
I got
Hi.
interrupted and I lost my train of thought.
No,
That was-
man.
I didn't even ask Deco to jump into that. I actually told VJ I'm gonna try to be wholesome this episode, and then I actually had this train of thought, and then Deco jumps in. I was like, I actually forgot, and I didn't even ask him to jump in. That was not part of the idea. So anyway, we're gonna cap it off right here, guys. I'm sure. Like, I'm getting tired of this. It's been an hour already. We've been talking for so long. But it was a lot of fun, though. I really enjoyed it. We got to pick your brain a little bit on how to be a voice actor. Maybe we'll push some voice actress duties into Arya. And
Yeah, do it.
this would be a lot
She's
of
up to it.
fun.
Do it.
Oh, she'll be up to it. No
Yeah,
problem.
definitely.
One way or
Definitely.
another. And yeah, we're going to take it off right here, guys. And we'll see you all in the next episode. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Goodbye. And we're doing another giveaway for a subscription to the Bandit Gang YouTube channel, and the winner is... Oh, exciting! Woo! The winner is you! Woohoo! You just activate that subscription down below. Congrats!